Hey everyone, Dr. Zio here, and today we're going to be reviewing Power Rangers Dino Fury Episode 3, Lost Signal. Again, as always, the episode was good. I liked it. The episode is more of a Zato-focused episode. So we start off with Zato sitting underneath the T-Rex statue at Dino Henge. I know they paid a lot to get all these statues up because they're using Dino Henge a lot, which I like. But Zato's lamenting about the fact that he hasn't been home in 65 million years, and when he left, the place was in ruins. And I feel that. My man is sad. I'm glad that he's dwelling on this because that's an important detail to his character. And he also adds, Amelia pops up and she starts talking to him about Rafcon, and he adds in the fact that when the Rangers left Rafcon, or when the Knights of Rafcon left to come fight the Sporks on Earth, not all the Rafcons were dead. There were still some survivors. So it was nice knowing that detail because the premiere kind of left that a little bit ambiguous. It didn't really tell us if the Rafconians had survived or if the Knights of Rafcon were only surviving members. So knowing that there were people when Zato left is good. And Zato being sad that, Zato being sad that that was 65 million years ago, he doesn't know whether those Rafconian survivors, whether they were able to thrive and rebuild Rafcon, or if the species end up dying out. Like, that's a legit thing to be sad about. I'm glad that we're actually addressing that in this season. But Amelia ends up telling him that there's a signal that they found, and so they drop on... Oh, before that, Amelia asks him about the necklace he's wearing. So he tells her that the necklace came from his mother. He got the necklace from her when he became a Knight of Rafcon. It was a little gift from her, which is nice. I like that. Seeing another Ranger with a parent, a mom no less, is good, because Power Rangers historically has a problem with not really showing people's mothers. But Amelia tries making a joke that, it's a nice necklace. I guess they wouldn't do overnight shipping. He's like, no, I guess not. And it makes sense because it's been 65 million years. My man's probably forgot his Amazon password. No, horrible joke aside, that's kind of a sad scene because, there's that assumption that he might not know what overnight shipping is. He might not have gotten the joke, and I don't know, that's just sad. But anyway, we go back down to the base. Solon has received a message from somewhere near Rafcon, or at least in the same galactic quadrant as Rafcon. So obviously, they're all hyped to think, okay, this is going to be a message from Rafcon. But Solon doesn't know if that's exactly the case, because Solon doesn't know the exact coordinates of Rafcon, which is weird. The device they used to decode the signal came from Rafcon, so we have to assume that the ship itself came from Rafcon, so it would have some sort of coordinates it would have some sort of coordinates that would show you where the home destination was, or its previous location was. So I don't know why they wouldn't have that information on that ship, but oh well. And then the Rangers decide, well, obviously they can't decode the message because the thing that they use to decode the message is broken. So they decide to either go to a psychic, which is posed by Emily, or a scientist at the observatory that I guess Ollie's mom knows, to go see if they can tell them more about the message, which is nice. Initially, I didn't like the fact that they're going to a psychic because it wasn't really scientific, but the more I thought about it, the less triggering it became for me. That's a whole different issue. But the more I thought about it, one, this is the Power Rangers universe, so it's not that far out of the realm of possibility. And two, Zato's kind of a psychic himself. In the first episode, we saw him touching Amelia and Ollie and immediately rattling on about who they are as a person. So it's not exactly out of the realm of possibility that there will be another psychic on Earth who could do the same thing or do something similar so that they could decode the message and figure out exactly who sent it and what they were trying to send to them. The fact that Amelia asked Ollie for $15 so they could pay the psychic was hilarious. That was a bold move by her, and I laughed. But anyway, we go to the psychic and we find our comedic duo of the season, which is Jane and Jayborg, which I honestly wasn't expecting. I thought Jayborg would be our comedic person of the season, but I didn't expect Jane to be the other half of that comedic duo. And the jokes, the comedy between those two really fell flat on me this episode. I didn't mind J-Borg, surprisingly enough. Like, I thought I would not like J-Borg as the season goes on. But yeah, J-Borg's perfectly fine by me. It's actually Jane who I didn't like. I felt like Jane and her blindfolding moment in this episode was just really, really dumb. And it didn't strike me as the Jane that we saw in the first 2 episodes of Dino Fury. So I hope if Jane and J-Borg are the comedic duo in this season going forward, I hope they kind of iron out the antics between those two. Because, I mean, who knows? There might be good moments between those two, but yeah, Jane, I just wasn't feeling her this episode. Again, J-Borg was perfectly fine by me. But anyway, we have another comedic moment between the Rangers. Again, the Rangers' comedic scenes in this series so far have been great. Absolutely great. Ollie, Madam Indigo, who's the name of the psychic, tells the Rangers that, yeah, she can see, she can see a message, somebody's trying to reach out to Zato. So Ollie, being the skeptic he is, grabs onto Amelia. He's like, so, we've been dating for a while, we're in love, and we want you to tell us, what our future looks like. And he shushes Amelia by putting his finger over her lips, and it was hilarious. So obviously Madam Indigo starts talking that BS, right? And that completely blows her cover. I thought that was funny. It was a clever way to blow her cover, and it was a very funny moment, which was a sharp turn from the Jane and J-Borg antics. Again, comedic moments that the Rangers are doing are on point each and every time. Jane and J-Borg so far, that fell flat. Well, Jane more specifically, that has fallen flat so far. J-Borg, she's okay. I like her. But the fact that my man Zato took that at face value and thought that Amelia and Ollie were in a relationship was so funny. Like, this guy was all about congratulating them. He was so happy for those two. That was great. I hope this doesn't foreshadow a future relationship between those two. Because, I mean, I feel like it is trying to do exactly that. And I kind of don't want that. Like, I can go without Rangers being a couple this season, but we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind later on. But then they go to the observatory, they do their thing. The observatory person, the scientist, tells them that, they don't know, or they don't know anything about the message either, so that's a bust. Then the Rangers kind of separate from there. Then J-Borg finds a Sporix, and the Sporix hatches, and she uses the hotline to call the Rangers, and, well, I guess she uses the hotline to send out a message that there's a Sporix beast in town, which I thought was nice. Them using the hotline to send out a message in this episode was good. We haven't seen that so far in the show. It's nice that they're actually using the hotline in the show. But then, so the Sporix beast turns out to be named Vipera. And I'm surprised they didn't, cover up her, boobs or whatever. They didn't do something to step around the fact that she uses her boobs to put people into trances. I mean, this is coming from, I remember when, what is it? Not Melee, but, the female villain in Jungle Fury, Camille. I remember when Camille's boobs were altered so that they didn't, her boobs weren't just like eyes. And that was interesting back in the Jungle Fury days. So seeing this fly in Dino Fury, I didn't expect that, but I don't mind it. I really don't. Vipera was a pretty good villain, actually. The Rangers having to morph with their backs turned Vipera wasn't exactly practical, but it was a nice touch. Like, that was a creative morph, and I'm always here for those creative morphing sequences. Vipera slashing Zato, just up front, Zato's not morphed or anything. I didn't expect that. He didn't seem that hurt by it. I mean, he was on the floor and everything, but I didn't expect this man to just take a full-on slash in the chest, but whatever, Zato, you do you. Mucus's comedy is also on point. If Mucus is going to be renaming these monsters and giving them nicknames the whole season, I'm down for that, because Mucus is great. We need to protect Mucus, we need to protect Zato, because they're both treasures in this season. But yeah, Mucus ends up calling Vipera sneaky or creepy snake lady, and I loved it. It was funny. It was pretty funny to me. But anyway, episode progresses. They end up Mucus ends up taking Jay Borg's camera that she left behind and using the signal they're broadcasting from Buzz Blast and using that to broadcast their own signal where Vipera was, entrancing everybody. So yada yada yada. Zato ends up using the blindfolding technique he saw from Madame Indigo and ends up using that in a very nice unmorphed fight against Vipera. I like that. He ends up destroying the signal. Vipera grows large on her own, which I dug that. Monsters growing large on their own is not a common thing in Power Rangers, and growing large without being destroyed first, again, is not a common thing in Power Rangers, so I was cool with that. It was a nice little touch there. But yeah, then we have the Megazord fight, and the Megazord fight it was okay. We got to see the Ankilo Hammer and the Tricera Blade Zord, the blue and the pink Ranger Zords for the season, and they're okay. Amelia and Ollie said, screw the city, we're gonna damage the streets, people are gonna be late to work tomorrow, but we saved you, it doesn't matter. But yeah, they ended up forming the Dino Fury Megazord and taking care of the monster very quickly. That was nice. Again, I'm all for short, quick, Zord fights. It wasn't as good of a Zord fight as the T-Rex Champion Zord versus the Horsey monster in the previous episode. I actually like the T-Rex Champion Zord more than I do the Dino Fury Megazord, just because the T-Rex Champion Zord is a lot more nimble than the Dino Fury Megazord, but I don't know, maybe there will be other configurations later on this season that will be as nimble. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. And anyway, they end up defeating Vipera. She turns back into a little sport cube thing, and of course, the Void Knight now decides to show up and take his sweet time grabbing the sporks. So the Rangers teleport, they grab that and dip out. The Void Knight, you were slacking this episode. We only saw you once, and you didn't really do shit. You took your sweet time grabbing that sporks beast. He should have had it. Realistically, he should have been able to grab it super fast, but I guess we had to get one for the Rangers. Okay. Anyway, Rangers end up using part of the crystal that Zato has because it's from Ravcon, and it's the same crystal that got blown in the device they're using to, I guess, transcode the message, and they end up using it to get a garbled out message from that. So that's gonna be our season long mystery for God knows how many episodes to figure out what was the message and who's sending it exactly. So we'll see how that turns out. But I like the way they ended this episode on Zato sending out a message throughout the galaxy, basically saying that he's the leader of the Dino Fury Rangers. They came to Earth 65 million years ago to fight the Sporks Beast. And if there's anybody out there on Ravcon, please let me know. I'm hurting. I want to see if my people are still alive. I like that message, and I like the way it ended the episode. Because as Zato's giving out his message, we pan out from Earth, and we start panning out to the, I guess, overall galaxy. And we see the message traveling across the galaxy. And that was a really creative shot. I like that. I'm a visual person, so those creative shots are always something that I can appreciate. But yeah, that was the episode. That was the episode for today. It was a by the numbers Power Rangers episode. Gave us a little bit of backstory on our Red Ranger and a little bit of a mystery. And yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good. Not offensive at all. Except for Jane. I hope that Jane gets better in the future. Or she's able to carry her own. I hope they give Jane better comedic scenes in the future, but we'll see how that turns out. Anyway, time for our question of the day. Question number 1, and really our only question for the day, is the obvious: who sent the message and why did they send it, or what were they trying to tell us? I have a few ideas on who might have sent the message because there were some spoilery images on the Power Rangers Dino Fury website on the gallery section. So I have an idea of who might have sent it, but we don't have confirmation on that, nor why they sent it. From the episode, we know that it's from the same galactic quadrant as Ravcon, but we don't know if it was from Ravcon exactly. So we have a little bit of clues there, but it could be anyone. It could be somebody from a planet we already know about in the Power Rangers universe. I wouldn't mind seeing Viera from the Lion Galaxy coming back again. I liked her as a character in Ninja Steel. She was a good Ninja Steel character. I wouldn't mind her popping back up for God knows what. Give the Rangers another Zord. I don't care. Like, just pop in to say hello. I would not mind seeing Vera come back. But yeah, that was really the only question I had for the episode. Let me know if y'all had any questions in the comments below. Until next time, again, I'm Dr. Zio, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Oh, one more thing, actually. Remember, the next episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury does not air until March 20th. So we're skipping this week, and then next week is when we have another episode. So sleep in this weekend and have a good weekend. Have a good week. Stay safe. Wear a mask. All that good stuff. But anyway, thank you as always for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good day.